Jacques.
Emmy,
Uh, Let me get my video working here.
you need to go back into Matrix.
What's going on in Matrix?
Well, for example, Marc Antoine left a message specific to you.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would have done so earlier, except that a couple of attempts to recover my password were unsuccessful,
Oh
and I know
dear.
that's a bad excuse. It's a cheap excuse, but you know, there was a little bit of friction getting in there the last couple of times. So where is? Oh no. Okay, so what thread is going on in there right now?
Well, you're going to have to go see.
All right, I understand the rules then. Let's see, where is? There's something that always resets every time I reboot my machine, and I have to figure out how to make it persist.
Make what persist?
There's something about my machine settings that doesn't stick. All my Zoom preferences seem to reset every time I start Zoom again. I haven't figured out how to make that persist. And, I've been around computers a while. It's just strange.
Yeah, you have, but maybe they just don't like you.
That could be. Okay. All right. What's going on here? Let me turn on my camera. Okay, I should be within field of view now. Okay. But heck. All right. Well, I've had a couple of interesting things happen this week, but what's going on with you?
Um, Not much.
Did you go
I
to a
I mean,
Ward's meeting on Wednesday?
I did.
Yeah, I find that a difficult time. So I always try to make it. I'm always engaged in something, and this week it was actually something pretty educational for me. But I'll still keep trying from time to time.
The amount of evolutionary epistemology in that group is downright staggering.
Good to hear. What do you mean by that?
They, you know, the wiki started out as the C2 wiki, which then grew up into to become media wiki, blah blah blah. But FedWiki is really a game changer because it's predicated on the idea of neighborhoods. When you join a neighborhood, it means that when you do a search in the little search tab, you're searching your whole neighborhood. And if you see something in somebody else's wiki you like, you just drag it into yours. Bingo. And both wikis know what just happened. So it goes on from there. He did this thing called plugins, and one of the early ones was monitoring your weight, your daily weight values. And he did a four function calculator, and then he did a graph plugin and blah, blah, blah. And now he has this thing called mech. And mech is scriptable. And he's writing games and doing all kinds of shit with mech. It just keeps going.
Is it scriptable in that it could bring in, let's say, reasoning engines? I know that you have an antipathy towards that, but is that the sort of thing that can
Apparently,
be
it can
done?
do anything. It can do anything.
What's the language he chose?
Well, mech is written in JavaScript.
Okay. Can I ask you a question about Word?
About what?
About Ward Cunningham himself.
What about him?
I noticed you said that he would not be very interested in joining the CSG calls because they were all recorded. So I
Yes,
noted that. But
yes.
then if I hear that in FedWiki there's a kind of a freedom to use and reuse,
Use
then
a what?
to use and reuse content, as you say, there's an ability to drag in and transclude content from other wikis when they pop
Yes,
up in your search. So I'm trying to
yes.
understand the line that is drawn between sharing versus being open and on the record. I'm trying to understand and try to see if you could explain
He
that.
when um the wiki that he used the when the Zoom call that he uses, I think it set up by uh Mark Pearson, um boots with the AI is active, and Ward stays mute until it's turned off. He does not want any of his work getting out into the Google Maw or the AI Maw for training. And if
So
you
does he not?
record as you're doing now, Google has access to it.
I understand that. But therefore, does he not blog ever anywhere else other than FedWiki?
That's correct.
And he puts a robots.txt in FedWiki, say do not read.
Probably
But that's not reliable, right?
not reliable at all. I mean, Google doesn't give a shit about those.
No, none of them do. So it's symbolic in act and in consequence.
That's correct.
Yeah. Hey, is that Kayla? I was away from my desk, away from my camera.
Ew,
It
what is that
is.
picture?
What a what?
That looks like what's that picture?
It's a view of the horizon, intending to look like a red sun or a red sunset.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
the view of the horizon?
It's an artistic view. It's a painting that someone did that I thought was kind of cool.
You know what it looks like to me? It looks like somebody zoomed in on somebody's like face or arm. It looks like skin.
Oh no, in fact, let me show you what the entire thing looks like because this is only zoomed into it's in a regular aspect ratio, and so it doesn't
Oh,
show the
okay.
entire thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
I just kind of like the colors and it's kind of abstract and it kind of
I thought you
blocks
took a
my.
picture of your forehead.
All right, here, let me show you what the actual thing looks like. Let me find it again. Um, where is my set of
While
wallpaper?
you're looking for that, I just want to warn you guys. I don't know how active I'll be because today I'm heading over to Burbank and we're going to stay the night there because Max has a competition this afternoon and then he has another one tomorrow. Um, Different competition around the same location. So I just
What
decided
what
we get a
what kind
hotel
of
room.
competition?
Dance, hip hop.
Oh, dance.
Yeah.
So where's the dance floor?
What do you mean? Where's the dance floor?
Where is the where is it being held?
So the first one is going to be in like a high school
Which
um
high school?
in Burbank. I have no idea. I don't know. And then the second one's going to be at the Alex Theater.
Oh, well, there's two high schools. There's John Burroughs and there's Burbank
That's
High.
it. John Burroughs. The first one's going to be at John
Yeah,
Burroughs.
John Burroughs is out in the middle of town and Burbank High is up against the hill.
Okay. All I know is I'm going to try to spend as much time in the hotel and in the jacuzzi as much as I can. Because that's my only respite for this weekend. And then next week, Max has spring break. We were supposed to go to Hawaii, but unfortunately, the finances couldn't support that idea. And so I'm just staying at home next week.
Finances and TSA lines.
Yeah, exactly. And floods and, you know,
Floods right now are, yeah, that's by the way, I went to Burbank High and I used to walk from there after school over to John Burroughs to take uh, ground school training for my pilot's license.
okay, nice.
And Burroughs was where we held all of the football, the high school football games. They had a huge track and field area.
Mm. Well, I'm excited about tomorrow because his team got first place 2 years in a row. And this is the first year that his coach has been on top of it. I mean, um, he is just bringing in all the guest artists, being really responsible. He is acting like, a coach that I would expect to act like a coach, scheduling things in advance, being communicative. But he wasn't like that for about 3 years. And so they did a run through last night and invited parents and friends and everything, but it was in a location that I knew was way too small to accommodate all of the parents and all of their friends. It was kind of a first look. And so all of the kids were in costume and they were performing as if they were going to compete. And
What
I
what kind
missed
of
out.
dance?
Same
What
thing, hip hop.
hip hop?
Yeah.
So they won't be
So
showing up on Dancing with the Stars.
I don't know.
So it took a while, but the picture is in the chat, just in case you wanted to see the whole thing.
Oh, hold on. So it doesn't look like I'm looking at a forehead.
I can send you a picture of my forehead and you can do the comparison.
Oh, or thumb. Oh, yes, much better. Oh, now this looks like a sunset.
Now, Zoom doesn't give me any scaling options. It just says, I'm going to show this part of the picture and that's all you get. You think with the
Yeah.
time Zoom's been around, could get around to something as simple as that.
No, they're much more interested in the zoomy shit like AI and other
Yeah,
things they can make money with.
yeah, yeah.
You
Anyway,
know, at least Slack. would allow you to frame the picture.
Many other apps do. In fact, I would gather to say most of them do.
All except Zoom.
Yeah. Anyway, so I didn't intend to freak you out with it looking like,
A forehead.
a forehead, a shiny forehead, a shiny bloody forehead.
No, no. I was wondering what that was. If you had some symbol behind it, that would introduce topic.
The topic
Well,
is everything under the sun.
it could
Mm.
also be interpreted as a wildly orange pointillism.
What is pointillism?
Pointillism, where you paint with dots.
Oh, I've never heard that word.
You never
Orange.
did? Jesus Christ. Just look
Every
up
time.
pointillism. You're going to find some really great artists did pointillism.
I've seen the style of art, which I think looks a little bit different than this, but I didn't know it by that word.
By the way, since you mentioned the color orange, now every time I hear about the color orange, there's like a tiny part of me that just cringes.
Yeah, it's too bad because
Oh, orange.
exactly. Oranges are one of my favorite fruits.
No, the color
I
orange.
know, I know. I'm riffing on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was just asking Jack this morning to check in, what had happened in the last week or so. Jack was saying not much. Um, and I was going to add a couple of things, but what's new for you other than that you're at this competition this weekend?
Yeah, a couple of things are new for me. I'm starting to really focus on strategy with fundraising and really putting my foot down and saying, we really need to slow down. And oh my God, somebody left a shovel over there. Anyways, um, we really need to slow down. We really need to get to know our donors. I need to really capture the voice of people who sign our appeals. So I spent 30 minutes interviewing the executive director yesterday. Just strategizing this so there is close to 100% success
Wait, by
when it
executive
comes to.
director, you mean Melissa?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
So um I feel like the quality of work really needs attention as opposed to just the quantity. So we all want to get the donations and the money, but we really need to make sure that we're working smarter and not harder. And so I spent the entire week writing, lots and lots of writing. And I was very intentional about it. It started with an outline and a plan, and now it's in kind of the actual first draft phase. Um, and it's been nice. This is the pace that I like to work at. This is the pace that I'm most successful, and it makes the most sense. So, if you want to talk about transparency and accountability, that's the part of um, my job that I enjoy. Strategy, transparency, accountability, and I'm eager to see the results. So that was what I've been working on all week. The second thing has to do with motherhood. As much as I like being a mom, like it's exhausting. I can't be there for my kids all of the time. As I was saying before I got interrupted, that yesterday there was a family and friends event that I could not attend because um, I was busy trying to get ready for this weekend, um, making sure that when I leave, the dogs are taken care of and the house is in good condition for the person that is coming to watch the dogs. Um, on top of that, I have the added responsibility, which is not, which is my fault, of delivering this fucking oversized crib to an employee who had won it during our silent auction. And so she lives in Burbank, and I had stupidly offered to deliver it. But, anyways, it's been a nightmare coordinating it. And she can't even pick it up because she has a small car. And so the entire thing put me in a really bad mood. And I told myself, I am not going to be in a bad mood anymore. I refuse to be in a bad mood. There are things that I can't control. There are things that I can't do. It's like I'm not Superwoman. I'm a high functioning single mom, yes. And I do realize that I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I just go for it. But it's grating on my self confidence and my energy and my moods. Like I'm starting to get super irritable all the time. So anyhow, I'm trying to reduce my workload as best as I can and be realistic with my time. So that's everything that's going on this weekend. A lot of it's in my head. um, so yeah, I'm just checking in with that. Sometimes it sucks being a single mom. Anyways, I really didn't mean to put the mood down.
No,
I
no,
hope you
no.
guys are sad or
I'm not down. I'm
scared
just
or anything.
breathing.
I really do feel guilty that I was not there for my son. This was the first time that he actually performed that. He's been successful keeping that number away from me. And I really wanted to see it. But it was it was like, there's a lot of dancers. So if you think, well, there's like 30 dancers, there's going to be 60 parents. Okay. And then you count their siblings, perhaps there's another two times more, right? And then on top of it, if you want to bring your aunt because your aunt or your grandma doesn't want to drive all the way to Burbank from Oxnard, then they're going to go too in this really tiny place. And then parking's going to be a fucking nightmare. And so I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going. I'm really sorry. But I would rather be in a good mood when you come home instead of try and force myself to go somewhere where I know I'll be pissed off because I won't be able to see my kid. And so a friend of mine even said, like, there was too many people, it was too hot. And so she can't wait to see them go full out tomorrow at competition.
Did Maxwell ask you to be there, or does he care?
He was fine. He was fine. He understands. I think he understands now.
Well, then it's fine.
Yeah, I know.
Besides, it'll be video recorded, I would bet you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Somebody sent me the video recording, but then they sent it on Facebook, and I warned them, like, hey, don't put the full competition on Facebook Live. It's not even coming out yet. It was like Friday, and then she like stuck it on Facebook Live. And I'm all like, the coach is gonna get pissed if he sees this, you know? Um, and so she took it down, so I didn't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, why do parents not consider things like that?
Dude, I don't know. Yeah, don't get me started. There's a lot of things that
I have a camera.
fucking people get.
I have to send this to everybody.
Like, I don't understand that too. And I'm often the one who tell people, like, hey, can you not do that? Like, and consider this. So, oh yeah, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, that's a very interesting cultural topic to discuss. Because there is an Asian stereotype that, especially the Japanese tourists with photography and cameras and stuff like that. That's a very well-known stereotype, right?
Hmm.
I, I think that's true wherever they go, because I don't think that it impinges upon them that there might be something that someone does not want to share, especially if you're in public. If you're in public, anybody can see whatever's going on anyway. So I personally have found that there's an oddity in adjusting to this culture about being sensitive to whether or not I was being recorded or not. And I know I still see it. We were just talking about that, Jack and I, regarding Ward Cunningham and whether he appears in anything that will be Googleized. So it's a very different set of cultural expectations and conventions.
I think nowadays too, it's become dangerous for minors to be filmed too.
And that's a sad commentary on this country and the state of affairs.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's true.
But it's true. And I
Now,
contrast,
minor
go ahead.
females is probably the big one, but minor males, not perhaps not so much.
No, minor males is definitely a problem as well. Did you not get that from the Sasha Riley interview? Do you remember what the Sasha Riley interview was titled? You know what I'm talking about, right, Jack? Kayla?
No.
Sasha Riley was the guy who, at 11 or 12, was sold by his dad into a pedo network. In fact, driven by his dad to various different pedo events and parties, among some of which he was abused and raped and beaten by this guy named Andy Barr in Arizona and the guy from Ohio, what's his name? The idiot ex-wrestling coach. Um, and also Donald Trump. And in fact, Trump raped him, and then Trump asked Sasha Riley at 11 or 12 to, do him in the back. And that's when Sasha Riley took a camping peg, one of those things you stick in the ground to hold up a camping tent, and stuck it up Trump's butt and kicked it as hard as he could. And this is why Trump today wears a diaper everywhere. Now, the name of that interview, because it's so to the point, the name of the interview is Boys Are Harder to Find. That's why they
Hmm.
didn't kill him. They had actually killed in that same event that afternoon, they had actually killed another girl minutes before. But they didn't kill Sasha Riley because they said boys are harder to find. They're looking for him.
Yeah, I don't know why we videotape everybody all the time. I do that. I'm totally guilty of taking pictures and videoing my kids and stuff. Th there was one time where I was a little concerned because somebody had shared my post and I didn't know who it was. And so I privatized everything. But
See, now I would contrast what we just spoke about, what I just spoke about,
uh-huh.
and what Jack's comment was about, and what you just said, with the fact that in Japan, elementary school children can ride the public transit and go to school and come back without adult supervision.
Yep. They're different
because
culture.
Japan is considered safe.
When I was there, um, we were walking along and we noticed somebody's wallet was taped to a post office box. And the guy that was walking with me explained that's the way this culture works. If they
Hmm.
find something, they don't steal it. They tape it, put it up so somebody can come and get it.
Yeah. And, objects like that can be there for hours until somebody remembers and comes back.
Yep, yep.
There's a lot to like about Japan. That's why it's one of the top countries I'm considering going to. Now, there are other safe countries as well. I know that when I was in Taiwan, people could leave their stuff the same way. Their laptop, their wallet, let's say at one of the Starbucks stations, and they could go next door and do something like, buy a cake or, mail a letter or whatever, and come back and it would still be there. I'm
You
not
know what's so
saying Japan's
funny?
the only country. Yeah, go ahead.
It's I was thinking about it this morning, like I don't know why, but I was thinking about how obviously times have changed and you know, oh, I know why. I was reminiscing about like old friends, old high school friends, and how fun it was to give them a call on the phone. But then sometimes you would get like their mom or their dad, and you know, um, and you'd ask for your friend, of course, and then they'd hand them the phone. And then I was thinking about like, yeah, times have changed because you don't hear another person's parent. You don't hear like another person's sibling over the phone because you have direct access to that person. And then it becomes kind of like a question of safety, right? A lot of people are saying, these kids who go online and they directly connect with, a friend online or somebody pretending they're a friend or, another kid and they're learning or they're discovering new friends, and some of it's relatively safe, but other times it's very dangerous. And then, like, I started to think that that was actually a measure of safety. Calling somebody's home, where generally everybody had the same phone number, connecting with their parents first, and then getting to your friend. So you had some type of idea, that your daughter or your son was talking to like an actual child or an adult, of course. And so
Yeah.
they kind of screened that. So circumstances kind of denoted safety, right? Same with like dating. Now, online dating is all the craze, and I think it's disgusting. But when you actually, back in the day, when you met people, it was through association, it was through friends, it was like you went to a party, you like met somebody because they had a connection to somebody else and they brought you guys together. They even speed dating, was kind of preferable to online dating. And now there's this question of safety once again, because there's just no filter. You have direct access to that person, and you truly don't know who's on the other side.
Yeah.
And that is a huge problem because of disconnection. And then when you're disconnected and there are too many negative experiences, and then you start to lose trust. You start to lose trust in humanity and one another, and then it's a free for all for the people who actually, misbehave and they want to cause a muck or they want to steal or they think it's become normalized. So anyhow, I just started thinking about that. Times have changed because of circumstances, but how can we mitigate that? How can we say, okay, so now you have direct access to, a child has direct access to a child. An adult, unfortunately, has direct access to a child that is not theirs. Um, you know, strangers have direct access to each other in a myriad of ways. How are we going to create some type of, you know, common sense around safety or safety measures? Or, you know, how can we kind of scale the idea that perhaps you shouldn't have direct access? It's not, it shouldn't be normal. It shouldn't be normalized. That's what communities were for. People were
Villages,
intimately connected and involved. Yeah.
extended family, the longhouse, the town square, the after school events, activities. See,
Now,
I
you know,
think,
one place,
yeah,
sorry,
go ahead.
you know, one place where I do feel like you can, you know, kind of be remote is work. I think that's fine. I think if you're like working to create, you know, something together, you're naturally connected. But you know, again, not too many people, unfortunately, find happiness in their place of work, or it's like, you know, find their passion. Obviously, we want people to find their passion, but that's how how you can survive, right? Is you have to make money, and you know, you both know what's going on. But anyways, that's where I think that it's okay to be kind of disconnected because it's almost like it's just so transactional. Like the connection is wasted on, you know, the goal of capitalism.
You know, the things that you bring up, the issues around safety and trust,
Uh-huh.
still drive management at companies because they feel they're more safe when they see, you know, seats and butts and seats. I mean, they feel they've got more control. So if you look at it from their perspective, that's why all this, you know, back to the office exists. Because fundamentally, they don't trust. If it was simply a matter of getting the outcome delivered, it wouldn't be a matter of whether you're in the office or at home.
Mm-hmm.
But some people like to micromanage. Some people can't manage by outcome. They have to manage by, you know, watching you, you know, with your head down. I had a friend of
Yeah, isn't
mine,
it funny? Mhm. Go ahead.
a friend of mine used to work at Westinghouse, and his boss at 8 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning would stand up, look over all the cubicles, and make sure that there was a seat in butt in every seat. It was something his manager did every morning.
Oh, my boss did that.
Oh,
He
really?
was president of a global, well, he was president of the USA portion of the global company. And he used to walk around the building. He'd go to every floor to just like see everybody, you know? And I just remember like laughing at that.
Well, that used to be called MBWA, management
What?
by walking around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was usually that was one of the things you learned in well, these expensive Harvard courses, you know. Yes, do this new MBWA, managed by walking around. People pay thousands of dollars to hear that.
Really?
Yep.
That's funny.
Jack, you've heard of that, yes? No?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that used to be taught widely. So in response to your question, Kayla, about how do we get there from here, I think that was one of the questions you were asking.
Yes. Yeah. How do we?
I think it's going to take a generation. because I think the current generation is too stuck in their ways.
So seven
But for the
years.
but for the next generation, we need the current generation to teach the next generation or for them to discover it themselves. So yeah, it'll
Yeah.
take two generations.
Hmm.
And we don't know, I don't know whether we have two generations.
Oh, that's terrible.
Do you know whether we have two generations?
I'm hopeful that we have two generations, but
I am as
I'm
well.
sorry. I was just like saying that out loud.
Yeah,
Oh,
I am also hopeful, but I am not extremely optimistic at the moment.
oh my gosh.
Can you still hear me? I'm downstairs now.
Oh, getting coffee kind of late.
I'm getting coffee right now. Hear me? I'll wait till I'm upstairs.
You're breaking up.
Yep.
Okay, I'll wait. I'm pouring my repeating into my coffee right now.
Jack, do you have any
Ah,
suggestions on how um, I can shift my mindset to a more positive, you know,
um,
outlook?
lots of orgasms.
No. Do you have any other uh, suggestions?
Um, One of the things that you do when you're in my body is you learn that a positive mental attitude saves lives. And when you
Mm,
frame it that way, you realize that the only thing that you're doing when you're not in a PMA is releasing fight or flight hormones that reduce your immune system's ability to do their job. So there is a whole biomechanical system behind positive attitudes. And I've got a lot of evidence for that and a lot of scholarship.
nice. So, how would you practice a positive attitude? How would you do that every day? Like, what would you say would this the steps would be?
Um,
And then I have a follow up question to your first
you do
answer.
things, you do a bunch of little things that make you happy, and you eat the right foods that make you happy. Now, when you're raising kids, it's pretty much the same thing because you're constantly trying to coach them in the sense of yeah, keeping their attitudes positive. And that's not always easy.
Well, I think there is a solid but not an easy solution. It's simple, but it's not easy. And I go back to the wisdom of the Dalai Lama, who said that one of the most right things to do is to teach every 8-year-old how to meditate. I think that, along with the Japanese practice of having all the children in a classroom take responsibility for the entire classroom, how clean it is, how cluttered it is, how well swept it is, how well the books are organized, how well the noise is managed, how well the teacher is respected. I think in Japan, the kids are taught all of those things from the time they're in their earliest years in school. So you get that, you get some meditation to basically calm yourself, to be able to not immediately react. You get some knowledge of the community, of the classroom, of other people, and a responsibility to be not just taking care of yourself, but taking care of others as well. That is a foundation we can build on. It's not a foundation right now that exists in the United States, not ubiquitously anyway. But I would say it's close to ubiquitous in Japan. So there are societies that can do this, but we need some appreciation that it's possible before you even get to install it here in the United States. And there's going to be too much resistance to that from those who still cling to the me, I, fuck you kind of, attitude that is predominant in this culture. So that's why I say it's going to take 2 generations, but I think that's the right move. And couple that with an emphasis on education, which is that thinking is valuable. Believing, just going to lead you down this very narrow road where other people tell you what to do and what to think, what to believe, and where you're going to go after you die. Those to me are key elements, along with the other theme that I often bring up, which is eventual transparency, because there's always going to be a corrupt element, there's always going to be a psychopathic element, and eventual transparency and other infrastructure changes will have to exist in order to combat that. Sorry, my speaking is slurred at the moment. I don't know why.
Uh-oh.
I didn't drink last night. I don't drink ever. I think I'm trying to talk too fast.
Yeah.
So that is my response. It's not an easy response, but it is a simple response. And I will also address those who often say, well, life is not that simple. The fuck it's not.
But
Life is
then
simple when you have your priorities straight. Sorry, go ahead.
now I'm going to push back on that a little bit because I'm often told that if people think that, simplicity, thinking in terms of simplicity is a problem, like for instance, you know, um, the world's problems, or if you think about like even just like something a lot more easier to manage is um like problems at workplace. People always say, "I don't like it when somebody says the solution is easy." How is it that it's translated to what is your relation with what you're saying is simple? And why isn't it, transferable to, let's say, like a workplace problem or the world's problem?
I think it is transferable. I think the problem in most conflicts is a difference of values and therefore priorities. And somebody might value, order. Somebody else might value the quality of the work. Somebody else might value, economy and how little they can spend. Somebody else might value whether or not they can get to work by 9 o'clock and still be okay. Everybody's got
But
different priorities.
but why do people not like simplicity? Why is there pushback with simplicity?
Because simplicity
Because
is not complete. You know, I say simple because if you understand the priorities and if you can get that kind of conversation going in people, it's a much better conversation. But if you have a conversation with people about what to do without understanding their values and priorities, then it's always going to be a conflict. So one of the key points in a book called Crucial Conversations by, I think, a guy named Kyle Patterson was in a conflict, you have to sort of level up. Well, you have to get into a meta perspective, go up a little bit and understand, is there a point of commonality? In business, the point of commonality might be, let's get this thing done. or we got to come in under budget, or we got to worry about what that person thinks, or we got to make sure that we're in federal compliance. So at that point, if you have some point of commonality, then you can work from there. But if you're always in the weeds, and not understanding where you're common, it's easy to be in conflict and stay in conflict.
Hmm.
That meta view has got to be established before you can have any kind of a positive conversation. Otherwise, it's just finger pointing and being louder than the other. Because reasoning doesn't seem to help a lot of times. If it did, we'd have a much easier time of this, and we know that that's not true.
For the record, I enjoy simplicity in everything. I would love to get to that commonality that you're talking about. I think it's easy to get to that commonality. Um, I would even dare say that that's kind of simple. You just have to really dig and get into the root of it and
Well,
be able to articulate it to the point where everybody understands.
right. Because I think even though it's simple, it's not easy. That's why I keep saying that, okay? In fact, Rich Hickey said that simple is not easy. In order to get to that common understanding, you may have some difficult conversations. And difficult because people may not be aware of what they think is the value that's represented by this course of action. They probably haven't even thought of it in those terms. And especially if they're non-strategic, then they won't have connected what they're doing with the strategic value or mission or main objective, the prime directive.
Huh.
I always say a lot, whenever I'm dealing with new organizations and new teams, you know, teams and projects don't go wrong, even though people use that phrasing a lot. They start wrong. That's why they go wrong, because they haven't had these conversations. They haven't nailed down, okay, what's our real charter? Forget whether it's on paper or not, but just make sure it's agreed. And then once you got that, then it's okay. So what's the time frame, and how do we do it, and do we have enough budget for it, and who's going to do what, and that sort of thing. Okay, that could all be derived. But if you say you do this and I'll do that, and somebody says no, I want to do that, you do this, without popping up, you're just going to be an argument.
Wait, are these sessions transcribed?
What these? Yeah, they are converted to text by Zoom itself and read.ai. That's what they do.
Okay, is that found anywhere?
Yeah, I can
Like,
send it to you. It's all online.
okay, yeah,
Anybody who
send me the
attended
link.
has access to it.
Yeah, send me the link. I do better reading than I do. Or,
Mhm.
you know what? Lately I've been listening, but yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to imply that simple is easy. But simple just means you're clear. Complicated usually means when people are not clear because they haven't thought things through. That's why I think, this other term, unintended consequences, they apply that term apparently to problems that are complex. I actually think it's inverse. When you say something is really complex, it's because you haven't taken the time to understand it and really think about it. So it's a more statement about yourself than about the situation. The situation is always the way it is. It was that way yesterday, it's that way tomorrow. What's different is your state of understanding about it. And that's what people say, oh, I don't understand it because it's complex. That's an easy out. And this is all a matter
Jack,
of degree as well. Sorry, go ahead.
Jack, what are your thoughts
What?
on this topic?
Um, I like simplicity.
All right, Jack, let me ask you this, and Kayla, you too. My understanding, based on what I've said, is it'll take 2 generations. Do you think that's pessimistic, optimistic? Do you even agree with the approach? Do you disagree with the approach? What's something else that you would throw in there for discussion?
2 generations to me is optimistic.
And in the current political ecosystem, 2 generations is way optimistic.
Yeah. Then let me add, it will take a minimum of 2 generations. Okay, let me do a
Dang,
thought.
Sam.
Let me do a
You're gonna
thought
put a
experiment. Yeah, put a what?
you're gonna put more work on my plate.
Well, that's why you'll be employed and I'm not.
Okay, what's your experiment?
How possible is it for people to really understand how the Japanese society works? Or Finland? Or Norway? Or Sweden? Here in the US, we have a very provincial view, and we think that the US is the world, and that's all that matters. China, by the way, used to think that. That's why they call themselves Junko, but they don't think that way anymore. But US still thinks that way. We think that, we're the greatest country in the world, everybody else looks up to us, we drive what happens, it's all that matters. So much so that, a huge amount of the US population never even learns another language. Well, arguably, they don't even learn the first language well. But they don't learn a second language like most European countries and most Asian countries do. You got to be relatively privileged slash elite to be offered French or German or some other language in school. Public school, I mean.
Ooh, that means we're privileged and elite.
We are. The US has treated themselves as privileged. We could argue that too, if you like. Just look at, the reputation US tourists have overseas. We call it being Karen here. Overseas, they call it being the ugly American.
Oh, you're not a Karen, you're just American.
Hey, I love this country. I loved what it used to be. I'm not saying this because I hate this country. I'm saying this because there are actual people and organizations trying to tear down what this country could be.
The popular people are destroying themselves or destroying everybody.
While the uneducated are pawns for the billionaires and trillionaires and the Rothschilds and the bankers, that really don't care about regular people. How else can you explain such callousness as, getting rid of Social Security and getting rid of Medi-Cal and getting rid of Medicaid and getting rid of all these social programs and not investing in the infrastructure? Because they don't care. And yet, $6 billion a day to give Trump, a hotel on the Gaza Strip and for Israel to get rid of Palestinians. Yeah, we'll do that at the drop of a pen.
Trump's
That tells you where
golfing
the,
has cost
sorry.
the taxpayer $100 million
I'd rather he be golfing than out there doing anything more damaging.
for
Like
$100
talking to
million.
nothing.
dollars.
It's cheap compared to the war.
That's true.
Cheap compared to the thousands of Marines that are about to lose their lives on Karg Island. And you know how Iran is saying, hey, you want a land war? Come on, come over here. and we all sit with eggs on our faces, me especially, because this idiot is still president of the United States. If I'd been effective, I would have been able to do something about that. Maria
In
Farmer,
any
sorry, go ahead.
in any case, it's time for me to run.
Okay,
Jack,
Jack.
thanks for coming again. Hopefully, I didn't turn
Yep.
you off so much that you'll avoid me tomorrow. We'll see.
Well, probably won't. See you all.
See you, Jack.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Good day. I'm going to recap education, values, meditation, starting young, building infrastructure, getting rid of corruption, you know, getting rid of all the people in charge who don't care about other people. If you don't care, you have no business having any responsibility in a communal responsibility like government. In China, historically, the best students, the smartest people go into government. Now, I'm not saying there's no corruption there either, okay? There's probably plenty of corruption. But at least that society said you got to have smart people to sort of, figure out what to do with society.
Yeah. Yeah.
And years ago, I read somewhere that there's an extremely high percentage of the people in the Chinese government who are, engineers, professors, doctors, and they know things, okay? Whereas in the US, in Congress, like 90% of them grew up with like, business or law degrees. They don't have any real world understanding about how to build things,
Mm-hmm.
how to serve people, other than, taking money from them being a lawyer. It's very backwards and it reflects our values.
Right.
I say our because I'm here.
Yeah.
So I think the path forward can be identified. We can build the bricks, but we have to agree that that's a path, and that agreement has got to take conversation. And that conversation will have a lot of conflicts. And that's why I believe that disagreeing well is a key skill. That's why, for me, it's key in the center of collaborology.
Yes. Now, how would you promote disagreeing well? How would you promote um, the things that you believe in that we need to put into practice to be able to gain more followers, you know, and have more discussions? Like, what would be your target goal?
Let me start with just one person, okay? If I'm talking to somebody, I want to know whether that person cares. Do they care about the right thing? Do they keep using words like profit and next quarter and, tax and, do they use those kind of words? Or do they use words like community and health and people and neighbor and, compassion and even love?
Right.
Because I want to know that somebody cares. If they don't care, one of my first lessons in collaborology is I don't need to collaborate with that person. I don't need to collaborate with 8 billion people on the planet. I just need to collaborate with a minor set of them, a small set of them that cares enough to connect, to build a network, to be effective together. And I got to say, Kayla, many people have come and gone. Right now, as of this moment, you're the only person who's stayed. You and Jack. Eric, too. Barry was it for a while. Although he was a little bit cynical.
Who?
Very.
Barry? Oh, I thought you said Eric.
Oh, no, 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 no. Eric is the least cynical person I know, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Eric's such a sweet guy.
Yeah, I think Barry, um, towards the end was starting to get a bit cynical.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, on a related topic, I'm trying to figure out whether I can get myself organized enough to go to a No Kings protest. Are you near a No Kings protest today? This is the day.
Oh. I am, especially in the county, and I should go, but I can't. I can't. I have to promote my offspring. Yeah. Again, no. Yeah.
Mhm.
I have to be a mom first.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna try and go to this one. I mean, to be really, really ambitious, I would go all the way into Seattle, but I'll probably hit one of the smaller cities nearby.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been to the one in Burlington. I think there might be one in Mount Vernon or Marysville. Burlington one was really nice. The people were really good, and everybody loved my dogs. Yeah, you could take your dogs to one of these.
I know.
Yeah,
I was thinking about that
you'll make lots of friends.
when Damien was here one weekend when there was a No Kings protest, and I was like, "Do you want to go?" And he said, "No, I don't want to go." Oh. And of course, I can't make him do anything, especially now. Max, I can
Hmm.
still kind of make him do stuff, but
Hmm.
Damien, not so much. But anyhow, we did drive by. I'm like, okay, we could at least drive by, and he was
Hmm.
agreeable to that. And so
Hmm.
I honked and honked, and that's like the most
Hmm.
that I could do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Does Kenny take a position on any of this?
I don't, if he does, obviously he's not going to tell me. If I were to take a guess, I think he would be against, obviously against these politics, but he won't do anything about it. He's the type of guy that just kind of like, you just put your head down and you work. Like, he wouldn't be as vocal as I could be. And the only reason why I'm not as vocal is because of my kids.
And that's the way a lot of people think and
Yep.
behave.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's too bad. It's too bad that there's like verbal violence even against people who speak their mind. So I've seen some of the things that Stacy posts and the people who comment. I mean, I don't know what the point is getting like welcoming certain type of people to be so combative and attack, but she seems to be okay with it. So
I think Stacey is definitely trying to be open-minded and listening to other parties. I think, I tried to do that, but after a certain point, I've seen too much of a predictable pattern. And I wait for somebody
yeah,
to
yeah.
show me that that's not their pattern. But if they don't, then I know that I can't really engage and waste more time with that kind of person.
The problem with that is when it comes to my kids, is that type of pattern is very destructive. And right now, they don't really have the maturity to be able to combat that type of pattern. So, when I was giving that example of Stacy and her posts and people just coming at her with that type of force, I would not want to wish that upon my children.
I'm of mixed thinking on that one.
You're what?
I have mixed thoughts on that one because I think the
Okay.
earlier people understand things, I mean, the earlier they can actually deal with it if they encounter it. Like if a little a child, like a little black school child. I'm thinking of a picture you've probably also seen. some little black girl about, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old going to school being mocked by white people. And if she's
Yeah.
at that age mocked by those people, then she's putting up with a lot of stuff that she should not have to at her age. And yet she has to deal with it. She has no choice.
Hmm.
It is a privilege to be able to ignore things and have it not affect your life. She didn't have that privilege. She didn't have that choice.
I don't know. Well, let's explore that a little further. Okay.
Yeah.
As much as I believe that, I do. I really do.
Mhm.
You know, I have to consider my divorce too. I have to consider that I'm co-parenting with another person. I have
Mhm.
to consider that that other person
Wait, could
might.
they weaponize that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, is
Absolutely.
Kenny the kind of person that would do that?
I have no idea. He's capable.
Give me his phone number.
I mean, I'm not saying he's going to, but he's definitely capable. Hi. Hey. Sorry. Speaking of children, hold on for a second.
Child is up. Yeah.
Hey Max, you're gonna have to pack. I have to leave to go to Oxnard at like 10:30, but I'll be back before I take you to Ventura or take you to your school. Okay? We'll definitely get to your school by 11:45. Pretty sure she said that so everybody's not late. So yeah. So that's what I'm facing. Trust me, if I had sole custody,
Mhm.
there it would be a totally different story. You know,
I
but
get you.
this is also like good for me to consider other people's thoughts too. I'm taking this as an opportunity to go, okay, it's not ideal. It's not what I would want to do 100%. It, is kind of a setback and a conflict. But at the same time, it gives me an opportunity to see into like what other people might find dangerous, assuming that everybody's on the same page. They just want the best for their child. They want to make sure their child is safe. They want to make sure the child is happy. Um, so what's an alternative to that but to keep them engaged? Unfortunately, might be a little slower, and that's where I'm at. It's like, okay, I have to, consider another parent. I have to kind of protect my child in that way. And so the activities that I'm looking for and the conversations that I'm looking for dial down a little bit.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you.
But I agree with you. Trust me. I mean, when I was a when I was a silly little girl, I always thought that like, I would be that gun wielding person in the middle of the jungle, just really standing up for something. I pictured myself with my fist in the air and like wearing fatigues and being in like huddled in smoke filled circles in the middle of the night to talk about our next move against like the big bad government. That's how I saw myself, but completely different story now, especially with kids.
Yep. You're reminding me of several movies.
Right?
Yeah.
I really thought I would be like at my age, a little bit of gray hair, looking kind of rough, but standing there for the people. In my heart, I am that person.
Yep.
I get you, Sam.
Do.
And
Thank you.
that's why I still think you should go on TikTok. You might have more people show up if you put yourself out there.
I did spend more time on TikTok this week.
What?
I found one video that I actually liked. I actually clicked like on it. You know? It was hard the first 2 times, the first 2 days. I was just appalled at what I was seeing. Like I told you about the one about the person, going around damaging property in his neighborhood. I thought, well, let's see. There's got to be a point to this. It's going to come to a good climax. There's going to be a good punchline here. But no, it just went on and on and on about how this guy was just damaging other people's property, and that was, I
Oh.
guess, popular, and that's what TikTok chose to send me my very first day on TikTok.
The algorithms find you to be violent.
And they, in theory, knew nothing about me, so they probably do this to everybody,
Oh
unless
my
they have
god.
intelligence from Facebook and knew who I was already.
I don't think it's intelligence, but I do think that their bots probably like caught on to something, connected it, and found you to be violent and censor. I'm half
Interesting.
joking, by the way.
Oh, you've seen my violent side?
Okay, that's another topic. What is violent? Like, what would you say is kind of a violent way of communicating? And I'm only saying that because some of your posts may appear as violent. I know, when I intentionally post about politics, that could be perceived as violent. But again, you're talking to somebody who's a bit hypersensitive because of my circumstances.
Okay. Yeah, I can see how some of my posts are provocative. And if you want to use violence, I guess I can't argue with that. I think a lot of it is to really mock, the, and not necessarily trying to reach the stupid people, because I don't think they're reachable. I'm trying to reach a bunch of others who know that these stupid people exist and put up with them. And that's who I'm trying to call on the carpet. Why the fuck would you put up with stupid people spending our money, our tax money, and giving away, let's say, to Israel, billions of dollars every week now in this war, giving it to billionaires? Why would you do that? Yes, there's a certain amount of antagonism and provocation there. I think it's way beyond time to be polite about this shit. And yes, I'm willing for that to be called violence, but it's not endangering anyone unless you think thought endangers someone.
Oh, some people think that. That's
Well,
the whole reason why women's rights were taken.
no, women's rights were exhibited in behavior. Women couldn't get the same kind of compensation. They couldn't get opportunities. They
But
couldn't get the voting rights.
it's also our thought.
Yeah, but
Like,
the thoughts drive behavior. It's the behavior that we're criminalizing, I think, right? Not
but
just the
didn't you
thinking.
but didn't you just say thoughts or something? Can you remind yourself?
Yes, I can. I'm provoking someone to think a different way. And that thinking hopefully will result in different behavior. And if their behavior is criminal, then I'm encouraging people to be criminal. But I don't think that's what I'm doing. I'm encouraging people to think differently and not to act so callously, so cruelly, so self absorbedly, so racist. So, yes, I am attacking people's thoughts, but the resultant behavior is what should be judged in a court of law, not whether or not one thinks it. At least that's true in this country so far as the Constitution says, if we still have a 1A. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way, because this is a good topic.
Well, and I think I misunderstood you, and I think I should make myself a little bit more clear. People were just generally afraid, men were just generally afraid of women thinking because they were afraid that that might drive their behavior.
Wait,
And so
what?
that's why, yeah, men were afraid of women thinking.
Why? Because men think they are going to think something different and they might actually have to have a conversation or what?
Well, mostly it's because men were afraid of what women would find out, in terms of, how they've been suppressed by men, or it's a power trip. Most men didn't want to yield their power to a woman who is a lot like more intelligent.
See, that's an automatic sign of weakness, is to fear someone who's intelligent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone who's really intelligent and really wants things to work would surround themselves with smart people.
Yeah, exactly. And that is
Whether
also
it would
part of
have
the
a
problem.
penis or not, whether it have a vagina or not.
Yeah, that is also part of the problem with politics.
Well, we already know politics is not a system of better making a society better. It's a matter of deciding who gets to inherit power.
Yeah, yeah. That's why we need to support the politicians who are trying to make things better.
Yeah, I support AOC. I support Bernie. I support Jasmine
Yeah.
Crockett. I support, all these people who are fighting for equal rights. Call me naive, but right now, it's a whole lot better than the system we got going on right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. You're preaching to the choir.
But I like the fact that you brought up that some of my posts could be considered violent. Does my explanation make sense to you, or do you still have an area of it that you'd like to explore?
I think I would have to read the transcript back.
Okay, I'll make sure I send it to you this time. I think, do you not get a email after every one of our sessions?
Um, no, I don't. I used to get emails, but I don't know why I don't anymore.
Interesting, because I thought my setting was to send emails after the event to all participants. Now, it may not do it if it doesn't know who you are. So I don't know if you're logged in to Zoom and whether or not Zoom knows who you are. Do you
Oh,
just
could
attend
be.
anonymously or do you just
Um,
uh what?
I should be logged into Zoom. I'm gonna see if I could just like change my settings then because I noticed that my profile picture doesn't show up anymore.
Yeah, when you're logged in, it should show up.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. I just have been really lazy. Don't want to put my cat fishing picture up.
Well, put a picture of I don't know,
My forehead.
anything. Yeah, you can put forehead is fine. Let's see who's got the better forehead. I'm getting old Asian skin, like black dots all everywhere.
Oh yeah, me too.
What? Not you. I'm talking about me.
Oh yeah, I've been getting what are they called? Skin tags. No, no, no.
Yeah,
Those aren't
skin
black
tags are
dots.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the skin tags went away.
Uh-huh.
Um, I didn't realize that they were related to like hypertension, you know. Um, I went back on my blood pressure
Sam,
medication.
here's your reminder from.
Hey, I was distracted for the last 5 seconds when a cat just jumped in my lap.
No.
I love it
I
when
was
my
just
cat jumps into my lap. No, I heard you. I heard you. I
Oh,
just
I was
didn't
gonna
respond
say I was
as
just
quickly.
talking about my
Skin tags. I heard it. I heard it.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
But skin tags aren't necessarily black. I'm talking about the black spots on my face.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been getting
Like,
what are those called? They're not skin tags, but
I don't know. Yeah, skin tags are, you can clip off skin tags, with a nail clipper
ew.
if you can put up with the pain.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No, but you
Yeah, I
can.
started. picking at it, and then I was like, yeah, this isn't good.
Picking at it doesn't really work. You know, the doctor will offer to freeze it and then have it fall off. That's what doctors will
Yeah.
do.
Well, the good news is they came out on their own, and I think again they're related probably to hypertension or diabetes. Not that I have
Good.
diabetes, but like
Uh,
high high sugar in the blood.
well, it's good that you don't
Which
have diabetes.
which by the way, I'm on a new medication and it's helping me a lot. I just need to get to
Wait,
a
wait, wait,
point
wait.
where I
What
feel
medication are you talking about? You're on medication for diabetes already? Or blood sugar?
yeah. I was on medication for let's see, Manjaro. Oh wait, for I was on Ozempic and then now I'm on Manjaro.
I don't even know what
So
Mounjaro is.
it's a diabetes plus weight loss.
Because
So
Mounjaro is
it
the
has
name of a.
trizipatide.
I don't know what that is either. But I thought Ozempic was for weight loss. Were you concerned about that?
No, Ozempic's for diabetes.
Ah.
Yeah,
Well,
but I
I'm
was
surprised
considered
then I've not been
pre-diabetic.
given that.
Oh, you didn't fight as hard as me. Just complaining on a monthly basis. I'm too fat. I don't like it.
No, my doctor has not ever offered Ozempic to me. I didn't know it was for diabetes. I've heard of a lot of people taking it for weight loss.
Yeah, because it can. Um, you can lose weight from it, but I need a little bit more kick.
Did I tell you somebody actually pitched me one time to invest in a Ozempic clinic?
I think you did. I
Yeah,
sort of remember that.
their projections are crazy. I've had anywhere from 60 to $100,000. They said, within the first year, I could be netting 1 million. So if you have 60 to $100,000, you should consider it.
62 what?
$60,000 up to about $100,000 to set up a physical clinic and hire a tech. Then you could actually be one of these remote Ozempic referral places, and you could actually get millions and millions because evidently there's a lot of customers trying to get this.
Oh, I know. Oh, you
So
should have
there,
started a long time ago.
you still think the Ozempic demand is still high?
Yeah. And now it's become more affordable.
Interesting. Because I thought that that was dying down, but evidently not.
No. Yeah, ever since it's become more affordable, it is going to die down soon. I mean, like I said, a couple of years ago when that guy offered that to you, you should have taken it because you would have been making a lot of money.
Well, I was wondering whether I should be in the drug business.
Oh yeah, you should totally be a drug dealer. That's where the money is.
You're so right.
I know, unfortunately.
The problem, I think, in this society is if you're really, really, really rich, chances are you've bent a few ethical rules. I'm not talking about legal rules. You can definitely be legally rich, but still ethically be possibly questionable.
Uh-oh. Who's messaging me? Is that you?
I just sent you a video.
I knew it. It's you.
Go ahead and click on that video.
Um, Unfortunately, I'm doing my makeup, so I won't be able to see it. Do I need to see it?
I was just filming, talking to you while the cat was in my lap.
Oh, I see.
So you'll hear bit of our conversation in that video.
Okay, I'll have to look at it later.
Okay, no
I'm
problem.
getting
Anyway,
getting my face ready.
it's good that you and Jack were able to check in. I actually wanted to say that
Oh,
I,
yes.
I've actually been having fun this week because I don't know if I told you, you know, I've told you I've been trying to learn about trading, right?
Yeah.
And I've been in this class. I flunked the class the first time because I couldn't be as successful as needed in order to graduate. So they allowed me to take the class a second time.
Oh,
And which is something I'm very disappointed in myself about because I consider myself a good student. But you know, like two-thirds of the class already passed, and I'm still, you know, flunking and not able to master everything. But this time around, and I really
oh,
applied myself. I really tried to spend a lot of time learning it. But this time around, they're creating this little 2 week experiment where little groups, by little I mean from 15 to 20 people, are given a specific strategy and only told to trade that strategy. And there's total about 75 people in this experiment. And I'm one of the quote unquote TAs or, you know, analysts, investment analysts in this experiment, in that I get to take the results from about 30 of these people, I and three other people, and analyze whether or not they followed the strategy closely, not whether they made money or not, but whether or not they followed the strategy closely. So if I say, yes, this person followed, then it would go into analysis for how good this strategy was. And if I said, no, this is invalid because they did XYZ, which is not part of the plan, then it will get discarded. And by doing this, I'm only 3 days into doing this. I am learning so much that it's worth two or three, you know, courses.
that's
Because when I'm on
great.
my own, I'm only studying my own trades. But when I can look at what other people are doing and how well they're following the strategy, I can tell what they're doing that I'm doing wrong or what they're doing right that I still need to learn. And it's
Right.
really, really given me a high level of confidence in how well I understand the strategy now. So I
Nice.
know it's making me a better trader. Just the last 2 days, by the way, I've been green. And I think I owe a lot of it to the fact that I'm kind of this analyst slash TA for this research experiment. And man, it's really eye-opening to be able to do this.
That's great.
Yeah. So I no longer have the fear that I used to have about, am I going to lose money? Am I not going to be able to make it back? I now understand a strategy where I don't care if one or two trades fail because I know how to manage it now. So that level of confidence, because it's not just whether or not you invest, it's how you manage your risk. And that
Right.
was always where I was going wrong. I was always taking too cavalier an attitude. I was always saying, yeah, I'm good enough. I can always recover, you know, and then I'll get deeper into the hole. And that's what I've been doing wrong. Not that I don't understand the pattern, it's that I haven't been disciplined enough. I've been too greedy on my good days.
Yeah.
That almost every bad day, you know, every day I've been red, at some point
Uh,
earlier that day, I was in the green. And then I say, oh, let me try this. Let me try this now, you know? And that's what puts me, you know, negative for the day. I got to learn how to curb that. And doing this, I think, is a very, very good part of that because now I know how frequently this pattern works. I know what the win rate is. I know how to manage my impatience. I know how to manage my risk. That's all been much, much clearer in my mind just by analyzing these trades. So anyway, I thought I'd share that because I've been spending a lot of time doing this and I think it's having some effect. Hopefully it will have
good.
some effect. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not gambling, no longer gambling.
Ah, that's good to hear.
When there's an edge and you know how to manage risk, then you really, really minimize the gambling aspect of it. Yeah, there's amount that's still not in your control. but it's not like anybody's out to get you. Not like the
Yeah.
house is out to get you. Market does what the
Yeah.
market does.
That's a really good perspective.
And it's losers that say, oh, Wall Street's out to get me, or the big boys are out to get me. That's what a loser thinks. So I'm very aware of that kind of thinking.
But you're not a loser.
Well, I'm not going to be anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I may still lose some trades, but it's not going to kill me because I know how to manage risk now,
Yeah.
or learn how to manage risk better now. Yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd give you a little glimpse on how I've been spending about 30 or 40% of my week.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think the
Are you,
last, yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
oh,
My swim trunks in bed.
okay. Well, what about extra clothes?
Oh yeah.
Duh. And your underwear. Okay. Sorry.
Oh,
Go
that's
ahead.
important. That's important.
Yes, exactly. Underwear is totally important.
These things happen frequently where you have to go out of town to go to these dance events. When I was traveling down to California all the time, I eventually
Uh-huh.
had a very, very good packing checklist. So packing only took less than half an hour because I knew everything on the checklist because it was quite extensive. I had probably, 4 or 5 dozen items that I had to check every single time. But because it
Right.
was on a checklist, it was easy to pack and very quick to pack.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you guys do this frequently, just give him a checklist or have him build his own checklist, and that way, he'll learn to be organized on his own.
Right, right.
Mhm. So you're going someplace, you're gonna spend a night in the hotel, and then you're back tomorrow. The competition is tomorrow.
Uh-huh. No, there's one competition today and then one competition tomorrow.
Ah, so are you
Yeah.
gonna? Is that the one you say you're not gonna be at? So you're gonna be on the call tomorrow, or are you gonna be busy during the call tomorrow?
Oh wait, where's your shirts? Where's your shirts? Just give me 2 shirts, dude. It doesn't matter. And one sweater or something. Sorry. What did you say, Sam? I'm
Wait,
really
are you
sorry.
doing the packing, or is he doing the packing?
I'm packing the both of us because we're only staying one night.
Yeah.
So
I was just asking whether or not the events of tomorrow are going to preclude you joining the session tomorrow, or are you still able to
oh,
join the session tomorrow?
I'm still able to join the session.
Okay, cool. Great.
Yeah.
And by the way, I still want to follow up on whether or not you think some of my posts are violent. So if
Yeah,
not today,
please.
then either tomorrow or in the future. Because I
No, no,
only
no.
addressed it in a first response, and I didn't know whether or not that was adequate for you.
No, no, no. Please continue.
Okay. Hmm.
We got 20 minutes.
You know what I mean when I say I'm not addressing stupid people directly, even though I talk about people being stupid? Because they're too stupid to understand what I'm saying. What I'm talking about are the people kind of watching that conversation, watching that interaction. Hopefully, some of them are not quite as stupid. They're still on the fence, but hopefully, they're not quite that stupid and that they can still understand. That's what I'm hoping for. And I'm adding a little bit of edge there because I'm trying to get people to be more than just on the fence.
Right.
Taking a stand is important. In fact, I know I've taken a stand. I would love to be even more effective, like I said. Like if I was really able to put myself together, I'd run for office or I'd go to Washington, D.C. and actually confront people about it. But for today, we'll see whether I can even get myself to a protest. Start there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good place to start. Did
Yep. Yep.
you send me something again?
No, did I? Oh, I did. Let me erase it.
What was it?
It was a letter.
Oh,
Yeah. But whether or not the tone of my post is appropriate or inappropriate, I'm trying to explain why it's not in such a polite, congenial, genteel flavor. I'm trying to be a little bit more, I guess, provocative is appropriate. But
you're
whether or not
trying
it,
to get more attention.
no, no, it's not the attention I want. It's the compulsion to action. If that works for one person or 10 people, I don't really care. It's that compulsion to action.
Hmm.
I will say one thing. I've been posting, this way for several years, right? I think I've been on Facebook since 2009. And I think for all that time, I've not really posted a lot of personal stuff. So I post a lot of public stuff. And to me, politics is public.
Right.
And for years, I've been a member of my Facebook group for my high school class. And there's about 40 or 45 people on it. And I've not seen a single person in that group post about politics up until about 2 or 3 years ago. One of my friends from that class, uh, who decided that things are so bad in this country, she decided to move to France and leave her home, which was Nashville at the time, Tennessee. So she's actually, posted her experience about moving to France and why she's done it and that sort of thing. And so that was one friend. But just in the last 4 or 5 months, I've seen one other one, my best friend from high school, start posting about Trump and politics and whatever. So it's something that I like seeing. It's
Uh-huh.
something that hopefully they're willing to do because it's right and that they've seen other people do it. Now there are three of us. The class size was only 100, but only about 40 or 45 are on Facebook. But at least
Right.
now there's three of us posting about politics.
Yeah.
And it was a long time coming, but it's at least a move in the right direction. And I would have
Yes.
to say that, my persistence in posting might have had some small influence on that. I'd like to think that. It may have happened regardless, simply because of the egregiousness of all the activities going on right now. But at least I was out there doing it already.
Yeah.
And about a year ago, when somebody invited me to be part of the 50th class reunion planning group, that's how old I am. It'll be 50 in June. And I was telling them, hey, I'm planning on leaving the country because of this, this, and that. And they said, oh, you're overreacting. That'll never happen in this country. Well, everything that I was afraid would happen, 80, 90% of it is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember. Even I was one of those people. Like, I didn't not that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's it's sobering being proven wrong.
Yeah. Sobering, disgusting, appalling. Yep.
Sad.
Like I said, I keep saying it every week. I have never used the word evil quite so often ever before in my life. But there are evil people out there.
Yeah.
And the Civil War did not finish when the war, quote unquote, ended. It went underground and it's been very active and it's been planning this comeback for over 100 years.
Oh, all in the name of ignorance.
Yeah.
By the way,
Oppression, slavery.
yep, yep.
By the way, what?
If you hear water, I'm just rinsing some stuff off. But I
Okay.
can totally hear you, and I'm engaged. Just letting you know that.
Okay.
It's nice when you see movement, right? When you hear people finally using their voice.
I think there need to be 100 million more people doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. But humanity doesn't work that way. Humanity is a bit slow.
Yes, I know.
They get a
A lot
little
of
bit
people are built and born
their
to be
own way.
followers.
Yeah, lots of people. Lots of people. I mean, the one, like, I've invited a ton of people to these sessions, and, I've been hopeful. I've had a success, like, I think two, maybe
Addie
three
came, and
people.
then you had
Yeah.
you had two people come, right? Wasn't there a black friend who came one time?
Yeah, Keisha. Keisha
Yeah.
came. Um, but they didn't stick around for whatever
Hmm.
personal reasons. That had nothing to do with the group itself. But again, if you think about that, how long have I been? I think I discovered you guys or I was invited in 2020, and so it's going to be almost 6 years. And
Hmm.
the two people who came were probably, it was over a dozen people that I had invited, and nobody stayed. And I keep inviting people with promise, but there's always like something. And
Hmm.
so again, humans, they just get in their own way.
Hmm. And that's by design too. We're all so
Yeah,
afraid of, do I have a place to live next month? Do I have anything to eat next week? You know,
yeah,
and rightly so, they have to be concerned about that.
yeah,
It's a privilege, I would still say, to be able to get on these conversations and spend this time and hopefully reach like-minded people.
right.
Not everybody can do this.
Agreed.
When I mentioned that it was privileged to be on these conversations before when it was GCC, some people actually bristled and, objected to be phrasing it that way.
Yeah.
Maybe I
I
was too provocative. You're about to say.
I had a thought, but I can't remember it anymore. But I would agree with you. Hi, Rocky. What are you doing, Rocky? Huh? I do this every time I leave. I always clean because I want to make sure if Addie's coming to my house and walking my dog, that she would have a decent place to go to. So I'm actually cleaning the toilet right now.
Yep. I got to do that every couple of years, whether it needs it or not.
You know what I did? I made Max clean the toilet before, and he was so disgusted. No, I'm telling you, it's nasty, isn't it?
Yep.
I was like, so if you clean it on a regular basis, then it won't be as disgusting.
Yep.
I'm like, imagine how I feel. I'm cleaning my own toilet plus your toilet, and it's not fun.
Yep.
Much easier to clean my toilet than anybody else's. And so, you know, once a week, I'm always like, hey, start cleaning the bathroom. Not his favorite thing in the world, of course.
Words are important. I tend to
Yeah.
use that to my kids too.
And then, of course, with him and Damien, I'm all like, one day you're gonna invite somebody to your room, and they'll go to the bathroom, and they'll be completely embarrassed and disgusted if you're a slob. If you're nasty and you don't clean regularly, and there's like stains and a bunch of stuff, you know, then it's going to be really embarrassing. So get used to it now.
No matter how much you do, I saw this with my kids. When they get to college and there's no more parent around and they have to do everything on their own, it's still going to be a surprise and a shock to them. What? Nobody's around to do my laundry? You know, I have to get my own food. I have to remind myself when to get up in the morning.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, part of the learning and growing process.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
By the way, a lot of what I call collaborology is not just between two people or between groups. I also call it one person collaborology, which is how do you cooperate with yourself so you're not fighting yourself.
Ah, that's the collaborology I do on a daily basis.
Yep, yep. I
That's
still
probably
need to
the
learn how
hardest
to do that
one.
well. I'm a horrible
Exactly, that's what I mean.
procrastinator. Yeah, it's really important. It's how you start.
Yeah,
That's why I can't scale
yeah,
yet
yeah.
because I haven't figured out how to do this well on my own.
Yep, right.
This is why the trading aspect really, really is a good way to show up for me in that, hey, I'm not nearly as
Yeah.
disciplined as I said I was. And it shows in my trading results. So now I'm able to
Uh,
be more honest with myself. Like, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done
right,
that.
right.
Why did I do this? See, that's the kind of retrospective slash perspective I have to do with myself.
That's why I think people love exercising,
It's
is
a good thing.
because, yeah, yeah. I think when they get it and they get in the rhythm of it, you see results too and feel it,
Yeah. I
and
still
then
been
you
keeping
become
up my
very
walking
passionate about it. Oh yeah, me too.
with
Even
the
though I don't
dogs,
want to.
and I'm
Yeah.
still doing my squats.
How
In
many
fact, since you
squats a day do
reminded
you do?
me, I'm doing, well, right now it's only 20, but I do other
That's
stretches
good.
too. I do some
That's 20
twists,
more than me.
and I do about 10 flights of stairs minimum,
Right.
and I do about, anywhere from 4,000 to 8,000 steps a day per my watch. My quote unquote smartwatch tracks me.
Right, right.
Then I have to maul each of my Goldens every day.
So this week, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna try to keep an open mind. Maybe I'll take Max hiking, or maybe we'll go camping or something like that. Something easy, low cost. But it is an opportunity for me to start building better habits. And so, aside from my morning walk with the dogs, and cleaning every day, I do want to cook with Max. And then I also want to do something for myself. I purchased these packages of like hot sauna or yeah, like these infrared sauna packages. And I think I have 6 more to go. And so I want to go, maybe not every day this week, but I want to go at least twice this week.
Is this
Yeah.
something called Hot Works?
No, no. This one you just sit in an infrared sauna for like 40 minutes.
Ah,
Yeah. So it's supposed to have
this
some good benefits.
Have you heard of Hotworks?
Close. Uh-huh.
HOTWORX?
Yep.
Yeah,
There's
they
one that
opened
opened
up
up.
one. Yeah, I guess they've been
They must
growing.
be opening up. Yeah, they've been opening up everywhere.
I get calls from them like every week. Come on down, try our free session.
Oh yeah, they need to get their franchise going. That's why.
Yeah. And evidently, it's more than just sitting. It's like going in there and doing stretches and
Yep.
positions and some a little bit of
Yep.
yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Those
it sounds
studio
fun.
owners. Yeah, I really admire the grit because it was hard for me to maintain my studio, and um, I didn't even own the actual studio.
Hmm.
So with these studio owners, they have all those overhead and all, with the inflated prices. Of course, they're going to call a bunch of people all the time. Um, but I also feel like the location and the actual space has a lot to do with it too.
Absolutely. In
People
fact,
love open spaces, mirrors, easy access. They love that shit.
and
But yeah.
what about having like a Baskin Robbins next door?
Or hey, even a liquor store or something. Like if it was in
Yeah.
a like a shopping mall or something.
Yeah, or even
Yeah.
like a Dollar Tree, you know?
I think that's why my dance group in Anaheim was so successful. They had a so this family was actually pretty brilliant when it comes to business.
Hmm.
They started with like teaching in their garage, and then they moved into this like old studio. And then a couple of like units down, they actually had like a barbecue place. And so in the Nonasina Polynesian family, it was like Auntie Ricky and Uncle Mel had their Hawaiian barbecue place. And then they shared the studio with their mom, Graham, is what we call her. She's the founder of the studio. And so the location itself was within walking distance of their home. And so they really literally didn't have to go anywhere for work, you know, they would just walk. Of course, they drove because they were lazy. Everybody drives, right? But I mean, the proximity to everything was brilliant, and
Hmm.
so they could truly work within the family. But
That's that's convenient, definitely.
yeah, that's another way to make it work.
Well,
It's
if you were encouraging me to try and do that Ozempic thing, being right next door to
convenient.
that Hotworks thing might actually be a good business placement, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm also really shocked, in Stanwood, the city that's closest to me, about 20 miles away. Man, there's this
Uh-huh.
huge, it looks like either apartment or condo complex that's going up. It went up like overnight, but there's hundreds of
Oh,
units. I was really surprised how quickly it went up.
I
So I don't
know.
know. People are still moving into this area.
They're moving everywhere. Building here in California, I think it's either a federal or a state thing. I'm pretty sure it was a state thing. I don't know. I don't remember. This is where I missed the VCLA meetings. When we went to the Capitol, they were talking about like, how many units they need to um, build in order to house X amount of people here in California. So there is truly a housing crisis here in California.
And yet we still have a lot of people who need help.
There's still people begging on the sidewalks, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'm both scared of, I'll be honest, I'm both scared of the unhoused. Um, but then also I have a lot of compassion for them. A lot of like stray dogs, they take a lot of the stray dogs in, and the dogs
Mhm.
are always by their side. That's something that I've realized have been working in terms of like um, the homeless population here is between like animal and the homeless. They seem to really be inseparable, and it's nice. And I feel like there are some, you know, healthy benefits to that for both human and animal.
I think dogs are better than humans.
I would have to agree with that. But again, thinking a little bit more positively, I think we could definitely learn from both,
Yes.
you know.
Well, I have tried. Still need to.
I know. I need to keep trying as well. I
Well,
don't like
hopefully you can
being
still.
pessimistic.
Well,
But
I
I'm
don't
sorry?
either. Well, to me, if you sort of rephrase it and say it's not pessimism, but it's sense making. And if we're sense making a situation which could have a lot of negative fallout, then yeah, you could call it negative. But the whole point to sense making is to figure out what the right action is to take once you understand the situation. So to me, if I were
And
just to stay in a negative frame of mind and just say, well, things are really bad and things are going to shit and whatever, okay, that I think would be negative. But I'm
yeah,
trying to move through that to say, okay, so let's do this about education. Let's do this about eventual transparency. Let's do this about compassion. Let's do this about meditation. Let's do this about the curriculum. Those are the things I'm moving towards now. And I think that was possible because of the sense making piece of it. So it's a stage in a path to me. So that's
yeah,
the way I prefer to look at it. Well, let's see. It's 10 o'clock. Okay, so shall we call it top of the hour and see if we can reconnect tomorrow and you can go and
yeah,
take your son to his competition?
yeah.
I'm gonna go
I'm
get some
just,
breakfast.
I know. I'm now finishing the bathroom as much as I can do. It's part of, again, making sure that I take care of myself. I know my friend doesn't care, but I still, it's a marriage, right? Between really wanting to help people and treat people well and also treating yourself well.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I cleaned I cleaned the toilet. Now I'm cleaning the shower. And I think that's it because everything else is relatively clean.
Yeah.
I think she'll be
Hey,
happy.
let me just
Yeah.
raise a point that maybe we could follow up on tomorrow. Somebody actually surprised me yesterday
Uh-huh.
because in this educational group that I'm in, I call myself a Taoist because there's always a
Uh-huh.
biography you can put in there. So I put, hey, I'm a Taoist. And one person, to his credit, asked me, what is a Taoist? And I said, well, it's somebody who believes in Taoism. And he said, what's Taoism? And I thought, wow, there's still some people who don't know. So um, I had some reaction to that. So maybe we could talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about that.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Kayla, have a good day. Say hi to
You
Max.
too. All
Okay.
right, we'll do. Okay.
Bye for now.
Bye.